This is the OG. This is what started it all. It's disgusting now. It's been sitting on my shelf and getting like dusty. I made this in 2021. It was just a silly proof of concept. Took me a couple hours to model it up and test it. And it worked, but I was like cutting and gluing a rubber band and using 3D printing filament as a hinge. Like, it was not designed to be made more than once. And then last year, shower thought. I have a lot of bad ideas in the shower. I was like, what if we can make this unscrewable? So this was the top that unscrewed. Still uses the rubber band and everything. But what if we could unscrew it and add like a magazine extension, like you would see like ammunition or whatever. My name is Sam Holland. I am the co-founder of Informal, and I'm also a product design engineer. I first got into mechanical engineering when I was like a boy. I would take apart electronics that broke, try and learn how they were made. I was super young at the time. That led to my first internship at a local company. So I was in this like small tech startup as a kid, like 15, 16, getting exposed to engineering. And that was just like my on-ramp into like doing things before I probably should have. Informal came to be because I met this guy, Nate. He's like branding, marketing, go-to-market strategy guy. He's a community guy, and I'm an engineer.
Informal's about 500 to 600 people around the world, but mostly in the US, and really spread throughout the country. We are strongest in the New York metro area and in the Bay Area, SF Bay Area. We've been doing it now for almost 8 years, but it really just started from a mutual love of teaching people, of freelancing, and of building physical products.
These are folks, anyone you need to go from an idea to a manufactured thing. So we call ourselves like hardware experts, but that could be soft goods, that can be like electronics, that can be anything you make. Burrito Pop happened during COVID time. We met this woman, Madeline, and she had this idea. She worked in San Francisco. There's food trucks all the time. And she was bringing her coffee mug down to the food truck to put her burrito in. That way she could, have a hand free, and people were like, that's genius, you should make this into a thing. So Nate and I got to speaking with Madeline, we fell in love with this idea, and I was the mechanical engineer on it. We had an industrial designer, branding person, Kickstarter person, and we worked with Madeline to take it from this concept to manufactured goods. Something you can machine wash.
So after Sam had really figured out how to make the product, I helped figure out what the aesthetics of the brand were going to be. What is the logo going to look like? What is the visual qualities of the brand going to look like? And we helped raise $50,000. It was about $50,000 from that campaign, and then helped launch it into Shopify and make it into a full brand, which it still is today. It's serious in the fact that like it actually takes real work to make this thing, and it requires real design and engineering decisions in order to make it work. But you're also just like, who needs a burrito holder?
And that was a really fun project because it's fundamentally silly, but people loved it. It resonated well. It did well on Kickstarter, and it was this like realization moment for me. Like, I don't have to do just serious things. I can do funny things as well. I like bits. I like making jokes, and I've middle child of 3, so you gotta kind of yell to be heard. Yeah, I grew up in a suburb of Boston called Winchester, small, quaint town, 2 Dunkin' Donuts, very small population for that quantity of Dunkin' Donuts. So we'd go there, after school. My brother really is the Dunkin' aficionado, so he and I have both been Dunkin' nerds for years. It's just part of our blood. So you can do it one-handed. The donut holder came from the Burrito Pop era, where I thought it was really fun to make a thing that holds things. And, with my background in Dunkin' Donuts consumption, and during COVID, I was like, it would be fun to make a thing that could hold donuts. The final design of this was created with a lot of help from a guy named Andrew, who's in our network of freelancers.
It was already in really good shape when I first saw it, and then I'm coming from the outside as like a total newbie being like, what is this thing?
So he comes up with, what does it look like? What are the materials? These like textures and callouts. How do you make something that looks more desirable? So I worked with him on the final form for this, which was really exciting. He had the idea of like separating this cap and the color breakups and things like that. So he really helped bring it to the next level.
I think part of it is just kind of going in with like fresh eyes and kind of seeing like where can we round things a little bit and make it just a little bit cleaner. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more considered.
So I went from this like, crazy one-off 3D printed prototype to something that's a little more elegant, uses the material as a spring instead of a rubber band.
I think this is fun because it is so simple, and also just like out of necessity of like making it something that can be like affordable and accessible to people. It's like, using as few parts as possible, using like as little material as possible, while still having the utility of like protecting your munchkins and keeping them relatively clean.
These are the 3D printed ones, so they're nice, they work pretty well, they're very durable, and they are something I can make right here, which is pretty rad. And then as we go up in quality, I have to outsource them to other people. So this is a urethane cast model, which is like super high quality and very expensive to make, but then this, from a distance looks pretty close. And the cool part is like, if you go to any startup, any hardware company, they have these boxes of 3D prints, they have these prototypes, but when you launch a product, you don't show that, you just say like, look how smart we are, we made this thing. But behind the scenes are like piles and piles and piles of old prototypes that are where all the lessons were learned, and like, the blood, sweat, and tears went in there.
You're taking this like novel form of food and finding like an exciting new way to interact with it, and that makes it fresh again. There's always room to inspire people and I think bring a little bit of whimsy into the world.
My pitch to Dunkin is, I can make this. I can go all the way, I can make it, I can sell it. I don't want to. I think it's a good idea, and you already have the stores, you already have the brand. I think it fits in well with your like current offerings. I'm willing to trade you the intellectual property of this donut holder, but I want a pontoon boat, a Sun Tracker 24-foot party barge, and I'll give you this. And that's plain and simple, no money exchanged, just you show up and I give you this, you give me that. I don't think a deal like that's been made before, so it's really fun to try and see if it'll happen. It's also insane. And the way it happened, basically, I have a friend group up here. We've always been talking about getting pontoon boats. I live right off Lake Champlain, and having a pontoon boat would make a ton of sense for just like hanging out. So I've been talking about it for years. And when I came up with this idea for the donut holder, my friends were like, oh, that's sweet. What are you gonna sell it to Dunkin' Donuts? And I said, yeah, I just want a pontoon boat's worth of money. And my friend said, skip the money, just go right to pontoon boat. But I built a website, deardunkin.com, check it out. And it's my pitch. It's like, a one-page scroll through. And I built it over a few nights. So the day before April Fool's, I put it on LinkedIn and I was like, this is my pitch. Here's who I am. It went viral, like 180,000 people saw it and shared it. And then this morning newsletter called Morning Brew, they reshared it on their newsletter. So I woke up one morning and like 40,000 people had viewed the website.
The hardest thing about building a brand and ultimately selling a product is getting people to know about it. So you have to test out whether they're willing to get out their credit card and willing to put some money down on it in a reasonable amount, because who knows how long it's going to take for you to actually launch the real campaign and deliver it into their hands.
You learn your best through mistakes sometimes. So like, at the beginning of launching the website, like he didn't put an email capture on the webpage. And so he got all this traffic and then like couldn't follow up with those people. But that was such a good learning opportunity that I don't know that I would have necessarily done it a different way.
I've only lost money on this, so on the donut holder so far. I know how much it'll cost. I know who I'm gonna make it with. I know the logistics of who would ship it out and everything. It costs $12,500, which is a bigger jump than I may be willing to take right now.
Crowdfunding specifically is a tough game because I'd say like the toughest thing is establishing credibility and buy-in from a customer who doesn't know you and you don't have the product yet. You haven't made the product fully. So you have to really, get them to believe in you, get them to believe in your product, and get them to believe that you will come out with this product the minute that you hit your goal.
I do strongly believe they know about this. My guess is they don't want to engage, either because they want to do it themselves, or they're like, don't engage with this crazy person, which is probably the latter.
If you look at Dunkin' Donuts marketing, it is pretty funny. It is pretty irreverent. We thought it could fit in really well there. But I think, the way that we're going to be able to accomplish that is by really demonstrating that this thing is real and that there are customers that want this and that, this thing can be brought to fruition.
We are out here at the beautiful Dunkin' Donuts off Shelburne Road in Burlington. We're going to be demonstrating the donut holder to strangers to get their take on it, see if they want it. Afterwards, we do have a quick short survey try and gauge people's interest, how they feel about it, and whether or not they would purchase one later. I still have not heard back from Dunkin' Donuts, so we're hoping that this might be the kick in the pants they need, or maybe the start of our cease and desist. So let's see what happens. Have you ever heard of a donut holder before?
I have vaguely heard of it.
Never.
Vaguely, whispers about it.
A donut hole dispenser?
Yes.
I have not.
Okay. I have invented,
Oh,
this
look
is
at
called the
that.
donut holder. Have you ever had a munchkin dispensed?
Dispensed? No, I've never had one dispensed.
Would you like to dispense a munchkin?
I would love to dispense
Okay,
one.
I'll do it for you because
Okay.
it's a little weird if I, here.
Oh.
You can dispense,
Ooh, a donut hole. Right there, it's that easy.
it's that easy.
Is this legal?
No, yes. And then with the handy press of the button, you got a donut.
Oh.
We didn't need the microphone for that part. But. What do you think? Excellent. What do you think?
Oh my god, I'm just so amazed.
What do you think?
Oh.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Do you want to eat it?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Food innovation. Thank you.
How about that?
Would you buy this?
100%, yeah.
How much would you pay for it?
$12.99.
Do you have a credit card? Would you buy one if it was available?
I would.
Okay.
So I'm a nurse. I work at the hospital, and I feel like, yeah, this is gonna be great.
Can I show you something that I invented?
Okay.
Okay, this is a donut holder. And you just fill it with munchkins or any donut holes. You put it on your belt like this, and you just press down, and you dispense one, you can eat it.
That's amazing.
Would you buy one? If available. It's not available yet.
Would it cost?
Great question. How much would you pay?
I would pay $13.99 for that.
Sold. No, I'm kidding. I'll give you all one for free if you'd like.
Yeah.
These are early prototypes. They're 3D printed for now.
This is a really cool thing. I like the idea. How'd you come up with that?
I don't know. So we want to do it. It's just a matter of when and how. I really enjoy educating people. I think one of my favorite parts of my job is I have the opportunity to teach people who haven't made things before. So early on, Nate and I realized, like, if we make killer content that helps people learn about this process, kind of lower the risk factor or the scariness of I want to make this thing, but there's all these things I don't know. It feels more approachable. It's more friendly.
I think there's tons of space for that teaching style, and more importantly for that kind of content, because it just makes it so much more accessible than straight up dry engineering content.
So it's a fun way to just show people the weird niche that I know, the knowledge that I have, and I get excited about it. The goal is see if Dunkin bites. Easy win to get the pontoon boat. I can put it to bed. If not, I will manufacture this myself. I will sell it myself. I'm not putting this to bed. It's either going to get sold or we'll sell it ourselves. Option 3 is a cease and desist, which I would gladly frame on my wall. Any of them are fine.
I think it's all a success because whether or not Dunkin reaches out, he's getting his name out there, he's getting his product idea out there, he's gaining kind of cult following, and he's sneaking in engineering lessons along the way through a really silly, ridiculous product. And I think that's a huge success.
I think it's possible to have multiple goals, and maybe even if you don't get the attention of the big company that you're trying to get. But sometimes the journey to get there and the story that you build in order to get there, that ends up being what it's all about, right? And that's what allows you to create a successful business. So we're pretty committed to Donut Holder, whether Dunkin cares or not.